Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley if you are new here, and in this video I wanted to give you a November update for our homeschool. If you have been around here for a while, you know that we are using The Good and the Beautiful almost exclusively, actually. We're using The Good and the Beautiful Language Arts Kindergarten, The Good and the Beautiful Math Kindergarten, and then we are doing Little Hands and Hearts Science. I thought it would be really fun to film this video in front of the Christmas tree since it is now into December, and so let's just jump right into the video. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about how language arts is going because I just posted last week an update on how we are liking language arts, The Good and the Beautiful Language Arts, and I'll just link that up above and you can go check that out if you haven't seen it already. But I will say one other encouragement towards it is that, again, this week or last, I think it was, my son told me that he really likes reading and he really likes language arts, which I'm still kind of shocked that he's saying that because when we first started, he didn't seem to like it very much. So I'm really enjoying The Good and the Beautiful Language Arts. I like how simple it is. I like how effective it is. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I want to also give a little update on The Good and the Beautiful Math because I really actually don't think I've mentioned much about The Good and the Beautiful Math Kindergarten. Probably a little bit here and there, but we started it in preschool last year and then I kind of pressed pause and then we picked it back up in the beginning of this year. So we're kind of a little bit ahead in it. And because of that, as you'll see later in the video, is like the biggest struggle for me is kind of just staying consistent, like super consistent with school, doing it like we don't do it 4 days a week. And so because we are so ahead in math, we probably only do it 2 or 3 times a week, and it seems to be working just fine. The thing is, I feel like my son, it's kind of not advanced enough for him. He's definitely learning some things, but it comes very easily to him, which makes him really like it, so I am fine with that. I could try to like pick up the pace. He could definitely do 2 lessons a day. I feel like sometimes we finish in like definitely less than 10 minutes, but this year I've kind of talked about how I'm not really putting like a ton of mental energy into what is Shane doing for school. I don't know if that really makes sense, but I feel like last year I spent a whole lot of time figuring out curriculum and spending so much energy figuring out if it worked, and I don't really know exactly how to explain it, but I feel like this year I know that this is the right path for us. I know that it's working well. I know that he's where he's supposed to be at educationally, and so I'm taking like a bit of a more hands-off approach. I'm just doing the curriculum, we're getting it done, and he's progressing in it, and I'm not thinking too much extra, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. And so because of that, I could like be doubling up in math, like I could be spending more time in it, but I just kind of want to like get what we need to get done this year and not try to go ahead. Maybe we probably will finish math early this year and I might pick up the 1st grade and start that later on, but I'm not really like trying to just get as much done as possible, if that makes sense. So the next thing I want to update you on is Science for Little Hands and Hearts, because I also haven't mentioned anything about that, I don't think. Maybe a little bit here and there again, but for the Science for Little Hands and Hearts, we definitely haven't been making it a priority to do it every single week, but we've been doing it maybe 2 or 3 times a month instead of one. You only do it once a week for it's either 30 or 36 weeks. I'm not sure about that, but again, like this was something that I almost like cut out of our curriculum because I was trying to keep things simple this year and I didn't want to overwhelm us. I also was planning on doing Gather Round, and we haven't gotten to that yet this year either, because we're just keeping things simple, but I want to start trying to do it more regularly every week because I think I want to do the Science for Little Hands and Hearts, like the 2nd course. I think it's something about waves and wind or something. I think I want to do it next year. I'm not 100% sure, but so I don't know. We have it. I'm kind of one of those people who's like, because I have it, I want to finish it. And so it is interesting for sure, and my son likes to learn about stuff that it is teaching, but it's also very, very simple, which is a good thing because like I just said, I want to do things simple this year, but it's almost too simple. Because it's only once a week, I would kind of think that the lessons would be a little bit longer, but they're like, again, you could finish them in like 5 to 10 minutes. And the way that it's formatted is like sometimes there's like a pre-lesson activity you can do, and then there's either a story or a book to read about the lesson. And there's usually like a little thing that you read to them to introduce the concept to them, and then they watch the movie it's like a 5-minute video on the topic, which The Good and the Beautiful does very well. And then it keeps them really engaged. It's beautiful. They learn a lot. They usually ask me to watch it again because they liked it so much. And then after that, they have some questions that they answer to see if they retained the information. And then there's an optional, it's maybe the beginning one is optional or something, but there's like another activity that you could do at the end. And because this is kind of like not a huge priority of mine, we haven't done every single activity on it or anything, and that obviously shortens it. But I am a little bit disappointed with how simple it is. I kind of wish it was a bit more, but I guess it makes sense because it's also for preschoolers, and it's kind of nice that my 3-year-old can also sit in and learn, and it's not too advanced for him either. So like I said, I want to start adding in science every single week. I want to get through the book because we have it and because it's interesting for my sons, and they can do it together and everything. And so last week we committed to doing it, and we did a lesson and they really enjoyed it. And then I have a science experiment kit. It's like a very, very simple, it was very affordable, like $25 or something off of Amazon, that does very simple science experiments, and both my sons absolutely love it. They ask pretty often if we could do a science experiment. And so we did both of those together, and they kind of paired really well. Not that they were learning the same thing in each lesson, but it was really nice because it was kind of like they got to learn something and then they got to do something more hands-on, which was really cool. So I'm gonna link that below if you're interested in doing simple science experiments with your kids, because I really like it because it's not super messy. It's like 5 or 10 minutes long, and they really enjoy it, and they learn cool concepts. Like last week we learned about viscosity. So I definitely recommend those if you're looking for something like that to add in to your school. So something else I wanted to give a little update on is our read aloud experience. I probably should be updating these things in a little bit of a different order, but I've been struggling, I think I mentioned before, I've been struggling to stay consistent with read alouds. Last year we did read alouds very consistently. I had a morning basket and it was part of the morning basket. But with having a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, it has been very challenging to find the time where we could just sit down and just have a little bit of time so many distractions and so many interruptions. And so we did do a little bit better this month, and I have come up with like this plan where we like sit on our couch and I take half of the couch cushions off of the couch and put them right next to the couch, and it kind of sets up this like jungle gym area for my 1-year-old to climb around on, and that seems to distract her enough that we could sit and read for a little while. So I want to get better about trying to do that more often, because I really enjoy reading with my kids and they really enjoy it. And we're still working through The Wild Robot, so if you've been following along, you know that we're really enjoying that. So that's a little update on read alouds. We're still trying to truck along, trying to kind of form a habit with that, but still not there yet. The next thing that I wanted to talk about a little bit is that I have kind of just decided that we are kind of only going to be doing language arts 3-ish times a week. And I'm okay with that because of the fact that it's only 30 weeks and we have plenty of time to catch up. And it seems to be that we are keeping on track with where I want to be. I have a calendar. I can insert here a little flip through kind of the calendar and kind of how I planned the year. But we seem to be staying either a little bit behind or right on target for where I want to be for this time of year, and that's like with taking December off of like our regular curriculum, and then finishing in like June or something like that. So I feel like if we just go a little bit later and we don't take as many breaks, then I am okay with that. I don't want to like put too much pressure on us. If it's not working out more than that, then I just have decided that that is just fine, and that is the beauty of doing the good and the beautiful and only having 30 weeks to get checked off our list.
So here is a really quick overview on how I planned our year. We started in the middle of August, and I just put the lessons that I planned to do roughly anyway, and I did it like 4 days a week, like the Good and the Beautiful has planned. And then I kind of figured out that we could kind of take about a week off each month to still stay on track. And so this is kind of what I meant when I said that I kind of just look to see if we're up to where I wanted to be, meaning like if we're not on lesson 45 on this day, then I know how many lessons we are behind from where I planned to be, which really that all that means really is that we'll end school in the beginning of June. So then I also know like if we're behind, then I know that means maybe we'll just have to do a couple more weeks in June. But yeah, I'll just flip through this a little bit just to show you how the rest that we're doing. Like I mentioned, December, I planned to have off. We did end up doing a little bit in December because we were behind this schedule. So I just caught us up, and then now we're doing something else, which I'll get to later in the video. So yeah, we have about 1 week off, which we don't actually typically take the week off. Like we usually use that 1 week to catch up because we tend to fall a little bit behind, and then we'll use that 1 week to just do like 1 or 2 days.
And the reason that I have come to this conclusion that I am just okay with us doing it 3 times a week, occasionally 4 times. If we start falling behind, I'll make sure we are upping our amount of time that we are doing it. But for now, like the biggest struggle that I have had is just balancing everything in my life with homeschooling. So having a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old has proved to be very difficult. This season is very overwhelming for me in the sense that I feel like I'm always like just running around all day trying to get things done, and I still at the end of the day feel like my list is like a mile long, and a lot of that is just because I feel like my kids are just needing me so much lately. Like my 1-year-old wants to be held almost all the time. Just, you know, keeping 3 kids fed and the house somewhat clean and in order. It just feels like there's not a whole lot of time to sit down and just do school, which is just kind of crazy to me sometimes when I think about it, because I'm like, it's only like 45 minutes or so we spend. So I just don't know where the time goes because I feel like so busy with things. So because of all of this, I actually had a point in this month where I had to just stop and reevaluate everything and talk to my husband about how stressed I was feeling and how I just felt like I couldn't stay on top of everything. And that honestly made like the world of a difference because we kind of came together to realize that part of the reason that I was kind of feeling super overwhelmed is because I feel like I was always trying to figure out, am I doing enough? Is this the right thing for us? Like mostly when it comes to friend time, like are we getting enough friend time? And then trying to figure out the housework stuff, like I was saying. So I talked to him and he agreed that he thinks that our plan is a good plan. And I kind of like threw out this idea that maybe every like 6 months or so we'll reevaluate the friend situation and see if we have enough opportunities for the kids. But I'm not going to always every week or every month be questioning like, are we spending enough time with friends? Are we doing enough for X, Y, and Z? And so that has helped a ton because then I can just stay focused on getting the things done that we've already decided that we are going to do, like the play group that we go to, and that's kind of it, like going to church, and the play group, and then when anything else pops up, like, I can agree to do it if I want to, but I don't have to put this extra pressure on myself to be like, we have to go out, we have to do more, we're not doing enough. And I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but yeah, that's kind of been a big struggle for me, and I feel like I've kind of had a little bit of a breakthrough in that this month, so that was really awesome. So something else that I just wanted to kind of throw in here is that for December, I mentioned that we are taking a break from our regular curriculum. I may continue to still do science because, like I said, I kind of want to like make sure we make it through that for the year. But we're actually doing Treehouse Schoolhouse's A Connected Christmas around the world. And we got it kind of last minute and have just decided to press pause on doing our regular curriculum because we're all up to where I wanted to be for this point, and then we're going to take 3 weeks off. And so I'm really excited for that because we already started it this week, and we have learned about how Mexico celebrates Christmas, and we did Italy today, and they have either like a hands-on connection that you can do where we made a piñata for Mexico, and we're making Italian cookies tonight. So that will be in my December update. I'm going to talk about how that all went. I may do like a flip through and our first thoughts or something on that. And then I'm also going to do what I got my kids for Christmas next week, I think. So be on the lookout for that. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.